What's up, guys? D-Rock 1992 here. For this next video, I'm going to be reviewing a classic movie. I think it's a classic movie, at least. It's a very classic baseball movie. Now, I said that I wasn't going to really review older movies, or a lot of the movies that I've watched, but I've decided I want to really review the ones I have watched recently that are classic, the older type movies. And this one's definitely older. But the movie I am going to review for this video is the movie Field of Dreams, starring Kevin Costner. It's basically, what it's about is, well, actually, I'll tell the cast first. Kevin Costner is the lead guy in this movie. I like him. He's a good actor. He's good. He has delivered good performances. James Earl Jones, otherwise known as Darth Vader, basically, is in this movie. A lady named Amy Madigan plays a supporting role. Burt Lancaster, Ray Liotta. So those are pretty much the major actors and actresses in the movie. So anyway, this movie's about Costner's character is Ray. His name is Ray Kinsella. Ray's a farmer in Iowa, and he's living a very quiet life. You know, he's a big fan of baseball and the game and all that kind of stuff. And one day in the cornfields, he's a corn farmer, basically. One day in the cornfields, he hears a voice. If you build it, they will come. He tries to determine the actual meaning of that quote. So then he builds a baseball field on his corn farm, even though it bankrupts him. Even though it could bring about the potential of bankrupting him, kind of losing money because obviously he's removing a part of that cornfield. He builds the ballpark, and then he eventually discovers that they will come means that a whole bunch of ball players are coming. And this is actually, the movie is based off a book called Shoeless Joe about the legendary baseball player Shoeless Joe Jackson. If you know the story, he was one of the 8 White Sox players in 1919 that did throw the 1919 World Series for the Chicago White Sox against the Cincinnati Reds. As a result of this, baseball investigated this, and in 1920, those 8 White Sox players, including Shoeless Joe Jackson, who probably, was he involved, wasn't he involved, we don't really know, they were all banned from the game for life. And it's definitely, it's the story kind of about that. But yeah, Shoeless Joe Jackson, played by Ray Liotta, comes onto the ball field and he plays. And he plays baseball. He comes back to relive his life of playing baseball. And he brings along a lot of his other friends as well. And then he has to discover another clue. I forget what that line is. But there's another voice in his head. The first voice in his head was, if you build it, they will come. The second voice leads him to reclusive fictional author Terrence Mann, who's played by James Earl Jones. And eventually Costner wins James Earl Jones over with his concerns and his talk about the voices and all that. And they go on an adventure to try to find, they go on a mystery to try to find this guy named Moonlight Graham, who only if you've never heard of him, big surprise. He only played in, it would be a big surprise if you've ever heard of the player, because he only played one game, did not get a single at-bat, and only played in the field for like a half an inning. They're on a journey to make sure that he gets his performance in the field, that he gets one at-bat. And the thing about him, too, is after he retired from baseball, he was a journeyman minor leaguer, basically, who got a chance to play in the field but did not get a chance to hit. After his career, he became a doctor. So they have to try to convince him, come with us, play at our ball field, and get your chance to bat. And he does that. He gets his one chance to bat, and essentially that is the major plot points of the movie. It is a really good movie. I mean, let's just get right to it. This is a really good movie. I hadn't watched it forever. I mean, I had heard that it was really good. That it was I had heard that it was a well done movie, and I agree wholeheartedly. It is a well done movie. Kevin Costner and James Earl Jones are the two that steal the show, in my opinion. Their chemistry together is great in this movie. Costner's a great actor in this. James Earl Jones is great. The one complaint I did have for this movie, however, was Ray Liotta's portrayal of Shoeless Joe Jackson. I didn't like it as much. I wasn't a fan of that. I felt like anybody could have played that character. He was dull and lifeless at times, and I didn't like it. Maybe it's just me that's saying that, but and maybe I'm of the unpopular opinion, but I really didn't like that performance. And I think that kind of takes away from the film a little bit, but not enough for me to say it is a really good film. It's a good film. My overall rating of this, Rotten Tomatoes gives this an 87% rating, which I think is pretty well right to it. I mean, it's pretty accurate, I think. My overall review of it is I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I think it's a really good movie. It's only suffering from Ray Liotta's performance. Kevin Costner and James Earl Jones really deliver. It's a good performance. It's a heartwarming story, and it's just a great film. At the end of it, I'm not going to give away anymore, but it is just a really good film. If you haven't checked it out yet, I suggest you definitely do that. So then that's it for this review. D-Rock 1992 out.